Alrighty, so you are listening to a video or watching a video on finding the area of composite shapes and figures. You will need your composite shapes and figures foldable. The foldable will be on Monday on just finding the area of shapes, because you're going to need that when we're breaking this down. So, first off, we notice we have two shapes to find the area of, and then we're going to find the total area. You want to first write that total, just means we're adding. So we're going to add these two areas together to find the total. So I need to find two shapes that I see. So I see a square and I see a triangle. So here we have a square, here we have a triangle. Okay, so now we're just going to find the area of our square first. We know that formula is length times width. So we know a square has the same side length. So we have 14 and 14 here and here. So we have 14 times 14. And when we multiply that out, we get 196 feet squared. Okay? And so then, our next one, we have is our triangle. So we know the area of a triangle is just going to be base times height divided by 2. So we have our base here, and we don't really see this side, but we know the sides of a square are all the same. So if this is 14, then it has to be 14 here. So our base is 14. Our height is up and down here, so 7, and divided by 2. So when we do 14 times 7, and if you need a calculator, you'll get one. 14 times 7 is 98. And then we're doing 98 divided by 2. When we do that in our calculator, you should get 49. Again, that's feet squared. So we have both our square and our triangle areas. Now we want to add them together in order to find the total. So we're doing square plus triangle. That's going to equal our total. So we have square, which was 196 feet squared, plus triangle, 49 feet squared, equals our total. And we're going to add 49 plus 196 in our calculator. We're going to get 245 feet squared equals our total. So that will be our answer right here. So again, we took our square and we took our triangle, and together we got our final answer. Let's practice the next one. Pause it as you need to get everything down. So our two shapes, I see we have three shapes. I have a semicircle, and a rectangle. So I want two shapes, so I know that because the radiuses are the same, we can put that semicircle together to form one circle. So the area of one circle. And then we have the area of a rectangle. Okay. So let's start with the circles. Our formula is pi times r times r. And again, this goes across like this, up and down. So it starts at the center and ends on the edge. So this is our radius, which is 4. Okay. So pi is 3.14. R is 4. R is 4. I'm going to go ahead and do my 4 times 4 already. So I'm doing 3.14 times 16. And then you'll do that in a calculator. 3.14 times 16. And that gives me 50.24. And again, our units are centimeters squared. Okay? And so then we found this. So this is going to be our first area. Now we're finding our rectangle. So we have our base here, but we need, so we have our, first off we have length times width. We have our length, so our length is 12, but we need to find our width. And we know our width is this entire length, like long side here. We need to find this piece. Okay, so we know our radius, which is half of the diameter, is 4. So in order to find this piece, we need to know that it's going to be diameter equals r times 2. So that's just going to be 4 times 2, and so that's going to be 8. So the entire length here is going to be 8. So we do 12 times 8 in our calculator and get 96 centimeters squared. Okay, and now we can add these two together to get our total. So we have the area of the circle plus the area of the rectangle. That's going to equal our total. So that's 50.24 centimeters squared plus 96 centimeters squared equals T. We're just going to add those together. And we get 146.24 centimeters squared. So again, we took the circle answer, took the rectangle answer, and got our total answer. The next problem. Again, pause as you need to make sure you get all this down. The next one, we have two shapes. So we have a semicircle and we have a triangle. So we have the area of a semicircle, which we know is half of a circle, and the area of a triangle. Okay. So our formula for half of a circle, we're just going to take the same formula for a circle and then just cut it in half. So that means we have to divide it by 2. Okay. Our radius is still here, so it's going starting at the center, going to the edge. So our radius equals 4. So we have 3.14 times 4 divided by 2. And we can kind of literally copy this whole thing here, but we're just going to divide it by 2. So we have 3.14 times 16 divided by 2, which we know is 50.24 divided by 2. And so we're just going to take 50.24 divided by 2, and we get 25.12 inches squared. And now we're going to do our triangle. And again, our formula for a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So again, we have to find a base. We don't see the base. The base is here. And we need to find that. So we know that half of the base is 4 because it's our radius. So we need to find the other half. So if this half is 4, that means this half is 4. We're going to add that together, and that's going to equal 8. So our base is going to be 8. Our height is here, which is 12. We want to divide that by 2. So we have 8 times 12, which is 96. And then we want to divide that by 2. And that gives us 48. And again, this is going to be 48 inches squared. Excuse me. So now we're just going to add these together. So semicircle plus triangle is going to equal our total area. So that's 25.12 inches squared plus 48 inches squared equals our total. And so we're going to add that together. And that is 73.12 inches squared. So I really, really recommend that you pause the video and try the next 3 on your own. And then when you're ready, hit play to see if you did them right. So we're going to actually go ahead and pause it, try the next 3. So you're going to try these 3. And then when you're finished trying them, go ahead and check them by repressing play and work your way through them. So hopefully you've done that and you are ready to check your work. So we have the following that's going to happen. So we have to split this up into 2 shapes. So we have area of a rectangle, and then we have area of a square. So this here is the square, this here is the rectangle. Okay. So let's first do our rectangle. We know the formulas for both are the same. Length times width. And so length of our rectangle is here, it's 12, width is 13. I'm just going to multiply those together, and that's 156 inches squared. And then here we have our length 10, our width 10, and we know we multiply that, that's just 100. And so then you're going to add it together. So you're doing rectangle plus square equals our total. And so therefore we have 156 inches squared plus 100 inches squared equals our total. This is going to be 256 inches squared. Okay, hope we got that right. Let's check the next one. So you have a semicircle, you have a rectangle. So we have the area of a rectangle and the area of a semicircle. So let's do our formulas. This is length times width. So we see our length here is 26, but we don't see our width. So if we're looking for our width, we're looking for all of this right here. We know that since this is the radius, r equals 9, we know that half of this is 9, okay? But now we need to know the other half. So because they're twins, we know this is 9, and we're just going to add them together. So when we add them together, we get 18, so that's going to be our width. And then we're just going to multiply that together. When we do that, we get 468 meters squared. And then we're going to do our formula for the semicircle. Pi times r times r. Remember, it's half of a regular circle, so we divide by 2. We have 3.14. Remember, r is 9. We have 3.14 times 81 divided by 2. And so that's 3.14 times 81, which is 254.34. And we're just going to divide that by 2. And that's 127.17 meters squared. So now it's important for us to take these and put it all together to find our total. So we know rectangle plus semicircle equals our total. So that's going to be 468 meters squared plus 127.17 meters squared, and this could equal our total. So we're going to add those together, and that is 595.17 meters squared. Okay, good. And now for the last one, which is a little different. So we could have easily just found the shape like the entire trapezoid. This is just a trapezoid. But instead, we're going to break it up into two shapes. So we're going to have a triangle. And we're going to have a square. So let's just break this up. Let's start with the triangle. We know that this whole piece right here, this whole piece is the same as this. So we know that that's 8. So we have our area of a triangle equals base times height divided by 2. So that's going to be our base. Our base is 8, but we need our height. So our height is this entire piece right here. And we don't see it, but we know it has to match this piece here. So if this side is 10, then this side has to be 10. Good. So we have 8 times 10, which is 80, and then 80 divided by 2 is 40 feet squared. Okay. And so now we have this square here. So the area of a square. And notice we think this whole side is 18. Well, this piece here is 18, but that's the whole side. So if we know the whole thing, this whole side is 18, but this piece is 8, what will this piece have to be here? So we need a number that when we add it to 8 will equal 18, the total here. So we know that x plus 8 equals 18. Subtract 8 from both sides. These cancel. X just equals 10. So this side here is 10, which is how we know it's a square. So this is just going to be length times width. It's going to be 10 times 10, and it's going to be 100 feet squared. And so now we can actually add these up to find our total. So it's going to be triangle plus square equals total. So our triangle is 40 feet squared plus our square 100 feet squared, and that is just going to be a total of 140 feet squared. And that's your total. So again, if you are struggling with any of this, please make sure you raise a quiet hand to ask your teacher so that you can get some assistance. But again, go back over it, rewind as you need to, and make sure that you are really breaking it out piece by piece. I really recommend separating it out, shape 1, shape 2, and then total area so that you can see the different pieces and put them together. And again, colors are always a great way to kind of see what's going on. Alright, so if you don't have any other questions, come see your teacher so you can figure out what to do next. Alright, that's it.